You might have seen those amazing beaches of the Philippines and wondered if you can afford a vacation in this wonderful country. What should you know before traveling to the Philippines and what is there to see and to do? And there's a lot. I'm going to make a breakdown of my 4 weeks vacations in the Philippines to give you some advice and hopefully lots of inspiration. Just to let you know, shown prices are rounded since they vary over time and I usually dislike hunting for the cheapest price. They should serve you only as a baseline. Prices in the Philippines usually include 12% tax.
I think the Philippines is the country where the postcard motif with palm trees has been invented.
I started my journey in Cebu. Manila and Cebu are the airports most international travelers fly to. Costs for air tickets, national and international, vary greatly depending on way too many components. Therefore, I better avoid giving you my flight costs, since I also had a stop in Seoul. In Cebu, best take a meter taxi to get your accommodation. My first hotel was a bit outside of Cebu. To get to downtown, I took a local jeepney. For a guy with a height of over 1.8 meters, a bit of a fun challenge. In the Ayala Center, I got my prepaid SIM card for my phone, for which I was able to add data volume anywhere very easily. The costs are amazingly cheap, but I have not really figured out all the discount tricks. Reception is pretty good, but in some areas internet might be a bit slow. From the bus terminal in Cebu, I took a local bus to Moalboal. From the bus station, I took a motorbike to get to my hotel, which I pre-booked via internet the day before. In Moalboal, I dived and snorkeled with the sardines and turtles, and then I had an amazing day at the Cavazon Falls. For the next stop, I decided to fly to Coron. Since I wanted to get stress-free from Moalboal to Airport Cebu, I booked a rather pricey direct transfer. The main airlines are Cebu Pacific and Philippines Airlines. They usually only vary in prices and branding design. Since the internet might not always be perfect, booking can sometimes be a hassle due to timeouts. The airplanes and airports are usually very small, which I actually really like. At Coron Airport, many salespeople and vans will be waiting for you. Therefore, getting to my hotel, which I booked again via internet a few days before, was very easy. In Coron proper, there is no beach. Therefore, after enjoying the sunset on Mount Tapias, I booked a shipwreck dive and a one-day island hopping tour in the downtown area, where you find many diving shops and travel agencies. When you go on an island hopping tour, I recommend taking a waterproof bag with you, since water might spray into the boat. Of course, that depends a little bit on the size of the boat you travel with. By the way, engines tend to be a bit noisy. Food is often cooked on the boat or maybe on a beach. Bathroom facilities, called comfort rooms in the Philippines, are usually on the beaches or just learn to pee into the water. The Philippines is a water nation, and even some boats might look a bit unsafe. No worries, you travel with the pros. My next stop was El Nido in Palawan, which I traveled to with a ferry. I just arrived in El Nido. Again, I booked an island hopping tour at one of the many travel agencies. There are usually 4 tours offered in Palawan. A is usually the most popular since it includes the big lagoon, but Tour B was also an amazing trip. I also rented a scooter for 2 days to discover all the beaches around El Nido. Roads are in a very good condition and traffic was easy because I traveled on the right side. When you travel, you need to drink a lot. Free drinking water is usually provided in every hotel. I used a refillable bottle with a filter. Next up was Puerto Princesa to fly to Siargao. There's also an airport in El Nido, but it is a bit more pricey. El Nido and Puerto Princesa are about a 6-hour drive apart. By the way, the Philippines have been influenced a lot by the Spanish culture from the colonial times. Therefore, you will find names like Puerto Princesa. And as another side note that is probably based on American influence, Filipinos love basketball. Close to Puerto Princesa is the underground river, therefore I included that in my tour from El Nido to Puerto Princesa. That tour is not offered everywhere, but worth doing it. The underground river, obviously a bit dark, was a nice and calm tour. At the underground river we had to wait forever. The reason wasn't really clear to me, but I guess they wanted us to go on a tour through the mangroves and taking the fun exit line. In Puerto Princesa I just walked around the city. Had really good food and a good but very affordable accommodation. The next day I caught my plane to Cebu, stayed here one night and continued to Siargao. As you might already have seen, my route was really spontaneous and therefore not optimized at all. In General Luna in Siargao I did surfing with a few stinging jellyfish, a super awesome bike tour surrounding the island and one incredible island hopping tour. Depending where and when you go to the Philippines, you might have rainy season. In Siargao was rainy season at my time of traveling and therefore I had rain every day, but it wasn't too bad. I love the barbecue in Siargao. Prices for food in general are very inexpensive and I got addicted to mango shakes. Oh, I had many more. Next stop was Boracay. There was not a direct flight from Siargao, which made my traveling route again a bit more complicated. But I was able to fly to Caticlan airport without another night in Cebu. Caticlan is just a short boat ride from Boracay. By the way, you often have to pay fees for the port and an environmental fee. This is not only the case at the port of Boracay. I stayed in amazing Boracay to chill and relax. White beach is perfect for that. Prices are pretty high compared to the rest of the Philippines and it is a very touristy spot, but I enjoyed it a lot and I totally recommend it. Bye Boracay. After one last night in Cebu, with a bit of sightseeing outside of Cebu, I flew back home and I was sure I will be back very soon. Yes, I spent quite a bit of money, but still the Philippines are very affordable. You get a lot of value for your money. My main budget eater were the many national flights due to my chaotic travel route. All my accommodation were clean and central food was good and inexpensive. And the best thing is for free. Smiling and very polite Filipinos. Please don't forget to subscribe. My name is Axel and see you in the next one.